So in my time of being a personal trainer, I think the one topic has been the most misunderstood and misrepresented in the entire fitness community is the topic of protein. Reason why is because most people that come up to me asking me about protein, they're like, oh, I heard protein mixed with fat. Oh, I heard protein is like a steroid. Oh, I heard that protein it does this and that, and the list goes on and on about all of the misconceptions and thoughts surrounding the topic of protein. A lot of people seem to not understand what protein is, what's its function, and why is it important for health, fitness, and well-being. On the other end of the spectrum, we have a lot of people who like to take advantage of the lack of know-how of your common consumer and like to sell a bunch of products down people's throats and make bank off their pockets. So here in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down to you what protein is, the importance of protein, and do we actually need all of the supplements that the supplement industry is trying to promote to us. Now, with that being said, for those of you who don't know me, the name is William Santiago III. I'm a NASM certified personal trainer based out of New York City. So if you're looking to get into the best shape of your life, whether you're in New York City or anywhere around the world, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at Will2Gain. I do both in person and online coaching. So with that being said, if you like the video, leave a like. If you appreciate the content, consider subscribing and turn on those post notifications. And with that being said, let's get into the content of the video. So protein is one of three essential macronutrients that we as humans consume on a day-to-day basis in the form of calories. That being said, allow me to break down the three essential macronutrients so that you can have a better understanding of where protein falls within the spectrum as far as its function goes. When we're looking at these three essential macronutrients, we're looking at our primary source of energy being in the form of carbohydrates. Reason for this being is that carbohydrates is converted by the body into glucose, which can then easily be converted into energy. Our secondary source is in the form of fats, because fats is the secondary form of energy because it's the highest density in form of calories. Also, it is slow, it breaks down a lot slower in the body. But when it is finally broken down, it's broken down in the form of ketones, which our body can then use in the form of energy. And our tertiary form of macronutrient is our protein, which our protein starts off as a bond or a strand of essential amino acids, which our body then breaks down into polypeptides. And these polypeptides are then broken down even further in our body to help sustain human growth, sustain lean muscle mass, and prevent muscle deterioration. So what does all that mean as far as the whole spectrum of things when we're looking at our macronutrients? Well, to put it in simpler terms, our body prefers to use protein to help preserve that mass muscle, right? So with that being said, what happens when we don't consume enough protein? Well, a number of things can happen if you don't consume enough protein. For one, you'll feel a lot hungrier. So what ends up happening when you feel a lot hungrier? You end up eating more. What happens if you end up eating more? Well, if you eat more, you're going to gain more weight. And that's the recipe for disaster. That's the last thing you want. Another thing that can happen if you're not eating enough protein is you end up developing protein deficiency, which can lend itself to a whole bunch of host of problems, and it can even lead to potential death, which is another thing we wouldn't want, right? So, what do we do to prevent inducing or, creating a protein deficiency? Well, simply put it, you want to have a well-balanced diet, right? The thing about protein is a lot of people make it out to be this magical thing that is going to add, 10 to 15 to 20 pounds of lean muscle mass. And in doing so, you're going to have rock hard chiseled abs. You're going to look like the next Mr. Olympia. And that couldn't be anything further from the truth. And then you have other people that preach that, oh, protein helps you lose all this weight. And once again, that could be any further from the truth, because the truth is, if you even eat too much protein and you're in a caloric surplus, we interrupt this broadcast by a friendly William from the future So before I continue that clip, I did use a little bit of profanity, just a little bit, because, you know, I'm very passionate about this topic. But I'm inserting this clip right here in the middle to inform you guys that when it comes to protein and weight loss, it is not about the protein itself. It is about how many calories you consume coming into your body versus how much you burn. Now, with that being said, let's continue with the video. Real talk, mind the language. But with that being said, once again, when it comes to looking at the overall spectrum of what we eat, we want to have a balanced approach to our diet. We want to make sure that at least bare minimum, right? We're consuming about 0.6 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Now, what does that mean in English, Will? Because I can't do quick maths. Well, essentially what that means is, let's say you weigh 160 pounds. In my case, right? I'm cutting down right now from 170 to 160. If I'm trying to cut down to 160 pounds of lean mass, right? Lean mass, I want to try to consume roughly about 105 grams of protein daily, just to make sure my body is at homeostasis and I don't experience any health issues. Now, well, that's all well and good, but what if I'm trying to really put on some solid mass? Well, simply you would want to increase the amount of protein that you're consuming. So instead of it being 0.6, maybe you would want to fall in the 0.8 gram per pound of body weight to even 1 gram per pound of body weight. So I would want to consume anywhere between maybe 130 to 160 grams of protein every single day in the form of a balanced out diet, which is laid out accordingly based off of the amount of calories that I need to intake for the day. Reason why calories is important is because calories is ultimately what causes you to gain weight or lose weight. As far as how you decide to alter the macronutrients, whether it be your carbs, your fats, or your proteins, it ultimately does not matter. However, the reason why we like to place a big emphasis on protein versus the other two is because when it comes to looking at protein, it keeps you more satiated longer. So basically it makes you feel fuller for a longer period of time, meaning you won't go out binge eating a bunch of crap. Secondly, it also helps preserve lean muscle mass as you're cutting down. And the reason why this is important is because if we're in a long-term diet and we're trying to diet down, we're trying to lose 10, 50 pounds of pure fat, anytime we're in a deficit as humans, our body is in a catabolic state. When our body is in a catabolic state, we're risking losing not only the fat, but also the muscle size that we decided to work so hard to put on when we were either eating at maintenance level calories or even in a slight surplus. So it is extremely, extremely important to consume enough protein in your diet, whether you're in a surplus, whether you're at maintenance, or whether you're in a deficit. And lastly, do you really need supplements? The answer is no. If you have a balanced diet, right, it doesn't matter what sort of super, exhale, freaking triple sized, double stacked, hydrolyzed, carbonized, complex amino acid, branched chain protein you decide to get from Schmo, it's not gonna make a difference, right? If you have a crap diet and you're eating in a deficit or you're eating in a surplus, if that's not managed out, then what sort of protein that you consume in the form, whether it be in the form of supplementation or not, really doesn't matter. Now, that being said, there is a big difference between, a not so good quality form of protein versus a higher quality form of protein, but that's a whole topic for a whole nother video. When we're looking at the whole spectrum of why we need protein, it should ultimately come down from a balanced diet, not from the thousands of dollars you end up spending on supplementations year round. So that being said, I hope this video was very informational for you guys. If you like this video, leave a like down below. If you appreciate the content, subscribe, turn on post notifications. And all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe.